Hey everyone, so I'm back. This is actually like my fourth time filming this video, so yay! If you're new to my channel, my name is Alyssa. I am a blogger. I have a blog called Petitely Packaged. My booktube is kind of my way of fulfilling my book content creation. It does not really fit on my blog, so I call it my petite read section. So thank you so much for joining me. If you are a subscriber and you enjoy listening to me ramble, you're amazing. And if you're new, I hope you enjoy listening to me ramble. Make sure you click that subscribe button below. So today we are going to review two romance novels, both by Alyssa Cole. They are in her A Novel of Civil War series. The first is An Extraordinary Union, and the second is A Hope Divided. So both of these have black leads, although this one she's biracial. As a center, there are heroines. This one we have Elle Burns, and her love interest slash partner is Malcolm McCall. And then in this one we have Marley Lynch, and her love interest is Ewan McCall, who is Malcolm's younger brother. So I have spoilers later in this video, so if you don't want to see them, don't watch. So this one, what I loved is that Elle, she was born enslaved. She got her freedom as a child, along with her parents, and they grew up in Massachusetts. And she has an eidetic memory, which if you watch another of my videos, I mentioned that. So she has an eidetic memory, and it was kind of used as kind of like a respectability politics thing when she was younger. Kind of cast her as a magical Negro, the way her parents like showed her off to people, and it made her uncomfortable. But she took this trait, this characteristic that she has, and turned it into something positive because she became a spy for the Union. And as a spy, she pretended to be enslaved. And I really liked that we had this woman who was willing to risk her life and to risk her freedom again for the freedom of so many others who looked like her, who did not have the abilities that she had. So she used the privileges that she had to make the world a better place. And I really enjoy that. Because a lot of times when I read historical romance, it's very much the woman is still a damsel in distress, and that is the last thing that Elle is. And I love that. Like, she's badass. She has gone toe to toe with Malcolm a few times. She is known for getting herself in trouble and like ruffling the feathers of people, and sort of kind of forgetting her place at times, forgetting that as an enslaved person, she was pretending to be a mute. So forgetting that she was supposed to be a mute, that she did have to remind herself that she did not have her freedom in that situation, and that she was viewed as less human. I liked the way that the romance progressed in terms of not ignoring the power dynamics between her and Malcolm, because Malcolm was pretending to be a Confederate soldier, but he was also her partner, in them trying to bring down the Confederacy. But him remembering that he was a Confederate, pretending to be a Confederate soldier, and that when she had to pretend to be a man and pretend to be his slave servant, like, she was reminding him, like, no, you have to treat me like trash. You have to treat me like it would, or people will be suspicious. And seeing, like, that internal struggle with him and her reassuring him that she knew it wasn't, like, her Malcolm. This was after they had developed a romantic relationship. But remembering, like, this issue is bigger than us. Because sometimes you can get romances just in like an action setting and they lose all logic and forgetting their purpose, but that was not a thing here. It was very much yes, what we have is nice and I enjoy it, but we have a bigger mission as a whole to get to. We don't have time to be thinking about sensibilities and lovey-dovey shit. Like, people's freedom and lives depend on us getting our shit together, so stop fucking around. I also like that it incorporated real historical events. If you have ever heard about the story about an enslaved man stealing a Confederate ship and bringing it to the Union, this is how the story ends. And Elle and Malcolm are on that ship and they get married on the ship. Which I really thought was a cute little way of inserting these fictional characters into a real life situation and bringing true American history, a lot of history that we don't learn about and that we don't talk about in schools, and having it there in a romance setting. So you get your love, you get the crappy parts of American history, the very crappy parts of American history, but you also get your happily ever after as well. And I also like that it explored, like Malcolm's privilege in America as a free white man, but also kind of contrasting it to his parents' experience in Scotland. and what happened after the rebellion that happened in the 1700s, and that remnants of that, and the English rule over the Scottish people and the British Empire, and how their family was not in the greatest situation in Scotland, and exploring that, because I feel like I don't hear a lot about Scottish history, so it was a pleasant mix in with all of the slavery backdrop that we had going on. I did not like, what did I not like about this book? Oh yeah, like, actually, what did I like about this book? Now I don't even remember. There's very little. I don't remember what I didn't like, y'all. It was a really good book. I feel like it was something like very... did I give this book 5 stars? Maybe I gave this book 5 stars. And if I did, that's probably why I didn't have anything I didn't like. I know there's stuff I didn't like about it. I Hope Divided. But maybe I really did like this book. Oh shit, I gave it 5 stars. So that means there was nothing I did not like about this book. Which means it was perfect. For me to give a book 5 stars, that means, like, I would not shut up about it, which is true, but also I would buy all the copies of this book, which is also true, and I would just, this is like in my faves. This is like definitely in my faves, and I would definitely reread this again. Because I'm sitting up here like, what did I not like about this book? And it was perfect. This was my perfect, like, historical romance. This has set the bar so high for, like, any other historical romance that I'm ever reading again. So yeah. So that's why I got 5 stars. I am shocked. So A Hope Divided explores Marley's story, which is she lived with her mother, who was a voodoo woman and like an herbalist. Her mother sends her with her white family, so she can have the privileges that come along with the Lynch name and knowing that she is acknowledged. And Marley has this brilliant scientific mind, which is the first thing that I love about the series, is that we have a black woman who was very interested in STEM in the 1800s, which we don't hear a lot about. And Marley was making her own instruments to, like, speed processes along and help to cure people. So she was also a healer, and so she was taking European science, but also like African science, and combining them together, which was very much a fusion of like her as a person as well, and using these 2 parts of her to help people and to heal people and to create something beautiful. Because science is beautiful. And so I really like that. But she went to go live with her white family, and her like having class privilege, financial class privilege, but not status privilege as a woman, but also as someone who was, she wasn't considered black. She's mulatto, so like someone who was still not colored, whatever the system was at the time. So she would have more privileges than some people in certain areas, but not in others. And she was kind of like confined to their little town, their little, I guess plantation, like their estate, because she still ran the risk of being enslaved. I also liked the exploration of the character Ewan and how he had his own demons, to where his father was abusive to the family and kind of put him down, and he carried a lot of that with him. So him working through those issues, and also Marley working through hers of believing that she was a product of rape and thinking that her mother didn't, even though she knew her mother loved her, thinking that, you know, she was a burden to her mother and something that was unwanted. Which later Ewan points out her mother was a medicine woman and people came to her for abortions. So if her mother didn't want to be pregnant, she knew how to get rid of it. So that refreshing her mind. I love that they were in such a small quarters, and that's really what formed their bond. Even because it seems like it progresses really fast. But what happens is the sister-in-law ends up coming, and she's all for the Confederate. Super racist, like your stereotypical blue blood Southern belle, and she calls Marley the N-word and doesn't want her to be around anymore. They were working on the Underground Railroad, helping people, Marley and her aunt. And so, no, Marley and her sister. Well, it's really her aunt, but she thinks it's her sister. But Marley and her sister were helping people with the Underground Railroad, and when the sister-in-law / stepmother comes along, all that stops. Marley is also confined to her room, and she's no longer considered a person in her own home. And Ewan ends up getting trapped up there as they were helping him along the way. And so they spend all this time and they really get close and really bond, and they read literature together, and he helps her with her calculations and drying out her herbs. And she's been translating her mother's diary from, I want to say, French, and he knows some French. So he was helping her along with that and really helping her to learn her mother's story, and everything was going on with her, and figure out why her mother made the choices that she made. So it gave them like a closer connection, a closer bond. And so I think in that scenario, it made the rushing of their relationship more specific. Now, let's get on to the things that I did not like. Okay, so I did not like the fact that like, everyone was complicit, and this racist woman coming in there and making a person who is integral to this family, like, feel like shit and feel like she's lesser than. Like, someone should have put their foot down. But that Marley's brother, who she thought did not like her, is actually her biological father, and he was a punk, and gave up running away with her mother to be free and having her. He gave that up, but he made sure they got their freedom because he couldn't stand up to his father. So he married this racist woman instead, and she treated Marley like shit. Like I said, he called her the N-word, kept her trapped in the room, but everyone who claimed they were their family and they loved her and cared about her and blah blah blah, that just like all went away because the comfort of this white woman was more important than the family members. And I guess it was a good parallel of something that is as American as racism and apple pie, is that white womanhood trumps everything else in this woman in terms of white supremacy and the patriarchy. But it just really irritated me how it all played out, in that they still expected Marley to forgive them for not defending her. That irritated me. I feel like the ending was rushed and that we didn't get closure. Like, Marley never went to back her family. She had to flee for her life because Homeworld was going to have her enslaved again. And so she never got closure from her biological family with her biological father or from her aunt/sister. And I felt like that was lacking and that we needed to explore that. As far as Ewan goes, I feel like he sort of kind of worked out his demons, but not enough in terms of like being... He carried a lot of, like, I came from this bad seed, so I too must be a bad seed kind of thing. And him, like, accepting that he needs to have good things in his life and that he's not a monster just like his father was. And I don't think that we got a lot of closure from that. And that really irritated me too. Those are like the two biggest things that I really like, and that are why this book, I think I gave it 4 stars instead of 5 stars. Like, it was a great writing, great character exploration. I just wish that we had more closure. And I would have liked to have seen them go to Kentucky, which is where Elle and Malcolm ended up, because that's where the family is from, and that's where their mother and their sister lives. So I would have liked to have seen them together. I would have liked to have seen all of the family together and seen Elle and Marley bond with each other. But yeah, I think that's it. They overall are really a great story. I like that it doesn't just give us a character and say, she's white, she's black, he's white, we're going to drop this into this history, but not explore all the ramifications of what their relationship could mean, like the power structures and power dynamics that go into them. But it really explores that and explores the dichotomies that they have and the struggles that they face due to their ethnic and racial backgrounds as well, and class status too. So yeah, give them a read. Cole is amazing. She also has another historical fiction I just finished reading called Agnes Moore's Wild Night, which is set in Scotland. Yay, Scottish Baes, in the 1500s. So you should read that as well. It's a novella, so it's really short, and that's like my only complaint. But overall, these are great books. Pick them up, read them. You will be happy because the world is trash, and these books aren't trash. Yeah. So thanks so much for watching. If you stuck out with me this long, give this video a thumbs up if you like it. If you have any historical fiction that you really enjoy or any historical romance that you love, especially ones with Scottish Baes, let me know. And yes, I've already read Outlander. And be sure to follow me on social media and follow the hashtag Petite Reads to see what I'm reading, and if you're reading stuff as well, use that hashtag too so we can build the community. And I'll see you next time. Bye!